Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I have a new company, at least to me. This is Axial gear, and this is their Shift model. This knife was made in the USA, and I love seeing that, and as far as I can see, I haven't found anything that says otherwise so far, so at this point, that's what I know. The Shift comes in different variations. You can get a double edge or this clip point version, and you can get in this two-tone and a satin version. It's a black wash with a satin finish on here. Also, this particular one is in 20 CV blade steel, coming in at $225, or you can get it in S35 VN at $207. So very competitive prices in my opinion. Let's get some specs out of the way so you can have an idea of how big or how small this knife really is. You have a total length of 8 3/16 of an inch. You have a blade length of 3 1/4 inches. You have a grip area from here to here of 4.75 inches, and you have a closed width in the pocket from here to here of 0.98 inches and a handle thickness of 0.45 inches. Blade stock thickness on my particular knife is 0.125 inches, and behind the edge thickness of around 16 thousandths, sharpened at 25 degrees per side. All right, before we go any further, let's do some cutting with the Shift and see how well it does. All right, we do some cardboard cutting with the factory edge. See how it came from factory. Ooh, nice and sharp. Let's see if it holds that edge. Alrighty, it sliced very well through the cardboard, especially because you have that somewhat thin stock and a really good cutting edge to start with. Let's see how it remained. 20 CV. That's still sharp. Alright, now we're going to attempt to cut some of this 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope. We'll try to do 20 cuts or so, maybe more, maybe less. Here's the factory edge, still sharp. Alrighty, it's like it performed pretty well. I made 22 cuts, and let's check the front of that edge. Still remains sharp. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're going to test the ergos and how well the edge is still biting on this pine 2x4. We're going to start out light cuts, then start putting pressure into it. Alrighty, that, I gotta admit, that was super comfortable in the hammer grip. I've tested five other knives today, and this one was the most ergonomic. I did not expect that. It's got wider handles. Maybe that's the reason. Let's see how the edge is still performing. wipe it off. Could have a snag in it or so, but hard to tell if it has. Yeah, it might have something on the blade because you do it fast. I mean, I only catch it when I do certain cuts. Let's see. Yeah, there's probably gunk on the blade. Alright, we're going to cut up several different types of material. We're going to start with this seatbelt material, and I'll put the name of the rest on the screen as I cut. Nice. Alrighty, this was actually a pleasure to use. The knife I used before this one was dull and it was not fun to cut with. This was a relief, that's all I can say. It did good on all the materials. All right, we're gonna have a little fun now. I don't know what this stuff is called. I mean, it's cardboard basically, but it's very hard stuff. This is like what they had in, I think it was in the bottom of a TV box or something. And we're gonna do a little stab testing. First off, let's see if it'll stop if it hits this as it's going. Let's try it out. Yep. See, so it's going to stop. That's a safety that pretty much all you do is pull it out and it'll lock it back in. Nothing's happening to it. So it's locked out right now. As you can see, it's locked out. We're going to see if we can go through both of these. We should be able to. It's not that hard. And let's see right here. Tell you it's comfortable too with this the way the handle is right here. Nice tip strength. Slow pierce. Yeah, just a little fun. All right, let's take a closer look at this. Yeah, this nice clip point blade, nice top swedge with a black wash PVD finish on here. Nicely done with some nice flat satin flats that comes all the way down. Like seeing that. I think it's a pretty attractive blade. You have the Axial logo right here. And on this side, the blade steel on this particular knife is 20 CV. Like I said, you can also get it in S35 for a little bit less money. You have a nice point for piercing and a sharpening choil that it's pretty close, but it looks like it's clearing the plunge line. You don't have a smile yet, but it is right up on that plunge. The blade came to me out of box, nice and sharp, and it performed well. It performed just as good as my higher end out the fronts, and even better than some of them. I didn't have many issues with the materials I cut, especially for being an out the front, because it's just not the most conventional for like EDC cutting. In my opinion, it just doesn't feel the same, just because of the straightforward handles usually, but it wasn't bad whatsoever. You do have some jimping up top, but it's pretty much aesthetic purposes, I would have to say, because in order to get my thumb right there, it just feels very awkward because of how low the blade goes down. My thumb pretty much lands there. You do get a little bit of that back jimping, but you know, it's not really a big deal in my opinion, because you have this nice flat. I had pretty good control over the blade through all my testing. The action on this thing is nice and snappy on the deployment and on the retraction. The retraction comes in even faster. I mean, it comes in with authority. The spring tension on your thumb slide is good, comfortable. I don't have any problems, and I flipped this thing purposely over and over and over and over just to see if I could get it to fail. And so far, I have not gotten it to fail, unless I wanted it to fail. Like I did do a tip test. I think I showed it in the video where I went through some of that hard corrugated cardboard, and I also deployed it into the cardboard, and as soon as it hit the cardboard, it has that fail safe on it to where it doesn't shoot through it. And that's that's pretty much on any out the front you'll see. That's just so you don't accidentally, you know, shoot it out into your leg or something like that. The slide action is it's good. The spring tension is good. You got to travel all the way up to that front to get it to come out, and it's not super overbearing. I've had some out the fronts to where it was very hard for me to push because I have pretty bad dexterity in my hands. This one, no problem. I find whenever I deploy it, I like to use the thumb ramp on it, and then when I pull it back, I usually flip it around. Just easier for me to do. You do have some good texture on the button, as you can see. It's just like a volcano going up and down. Good traction. It wasn't tearing up my thumbs. I could do that all day, back and forth, no problem. The handle is made up of 6061 T6 hard anodized aluminum, and I gotta say, whatever this hard anodizing is, it's got a nice soft feel to it. Almost feels like a thin rubber or something, but it's not. It's got some good tactile grip to it. It's not like super slick. As you can see, it has the skin from my thumbs because I was rubbing on it. Just a straightforward style handle. You do have a flare up here in the front. As you can see, it goes up a little bit right up in this area, and then the back flares out. And I noticed that width filled out my hand nicely, especially if I was holding it back here. That flare kind of grips these three hands if you want to choke back on it. Even if you choke forward like this, it was still comfortable because of the wider scales. They do offer the handles, the scales, different colors. You can get it in this black, also a blue, a red, and a tan at this time. And they all look pretty nice in my opinion. Turn it around. The hardware is countersunk T6 Torx, and they are black coated on here. You do have some jimping along the sides, but it is flush with the scales, so unless you're really pushing down, you're not really getting much traction from that. But I didn't see any problem with it feeling like it was a slide around in my hand whatsoever. The pocket clip on here is a bent stainless steel pocket clip. That works just fine. You don't have a really big ramp up here, being that it kind of scoops down. I prefer to see it just do that ramp up a little bit. That usually gets in and out of pockets a lot easier. But with the pockets that I use, I didn't really see any issues. I'm going to show you in the right side pocket. It goes in just nicely here, just enough. But if you have any thicker pants in this, you may have to lift it up. Not sure. That's what's sticking out of the pocket. It hugs the pocket nicely right here. And if you want to carry it on the left side, you can you can just push it to the left side, but then you're going to have to turn the knife in your hand when you pull it out. And I know that's not the most convenient. Now they do have it to where you could swap the clip over, because you just unscrew this, pull this out. But the way this clip is shaped, you would have to have a you'd have to have a left side clip, because it will not fit, because of, you know, how it slopes down. It would go in the wrong direction. So I'm not sure if they offer a left side clip or not. I didn't have one in my box, but I am right-handed, so I guess like I said, you could carry it in the right side. Just turn the knife over in your hand, I guess. I tried it, wasn't a big deal. All right, let's get some size comparisons from some competitors. I think the most closely related in size would be this Microtech Ultratech right here. They're really close. Especially if you push it from the glass breaker to this back tip, they're pretty much the same exact length. The blades are very comparable as far as length. You get about the same exact cutting edge from the two. So those two are great size comparisons, at least. You do have a wider handle scale on the Shift than you do on the Ultratech. And here it is with the Guardian Tactical Recon 035. So as you can see, the Recon's a good bit smaller. And two just folding knives to compare them to. You have the Ontario Rat Model 1, which the Rat Model 1 is a little bit longer. And then the Hogue RSK regular size. And the RSK is just a tad bit longer. Nitpicks, complaints. I wish they would have extended that sharpening trawl just a little bit more, because after one sharpening, you're going to start getting some flare back there. However, they do offer with their warranty, a lifetime sharpening, cleaning, lubing, and adjustments to the knife. Just send it to them, because it can be a little scary to take these apart sometimes if you don't know what you're doing. Also, I mean, without the front, you're gonna have up and down play. This one has a good, I don't want to say a good bit, because it's not super bad or anything. I cut just fine with it, but it does have more backwards play whenever you're pushing into something than, say, the Ultratech. But this one also has play, but whenever you're pushing back, it doesn't have as much play, in which, that's when you're cutting down on something, you're going to notice a good bit. So when I have my thumb up here, I would still feel it, not the end of the world. But they all have it. I mean, this Guardian Tactical, it's got it too, just not as much, but this is a cheaper price tag. Also, I would like to see more about the manufacturing of the knife. Just with so many things that go on in the knife community, at this time, I believe them that they're a U.S. manufacturer, or they're produced in the United States. But I would like to see more. I don't like to put that on my brand, that it is 100% U.S. made, unless I have, who manufactured them. Did they manufacture them, or did Cobra Tech manufacture them? Did Microtech? Did ProTech? Did any of those companies? I would like to know that. It would make people feel better about buying this knife, especially those who are strictly only going to buy U.S. products. That's just my 2 cents on it. I still like the knife. I think the knife is an excellent value at this time. I can't say for sure, because this knife has not been around as long as, say, this Ultratech right here. They've been tested for years and years now. We know how they're going to hold up, and they have a good reputation. So only time will tell how this one will hold up. Now, they do have a lifetime warranty that keeps, you know, that protects the knife free from defects. So if something were to malfunction, sounds like they will take care of you, no hassle. So that is awesome to see. And the fact that you can send it in and get it fixed. If you break the blade, they can replace the blade for a fee. You know, all that stuff's nice to know when you invest, you know, that kind of money into a knife. I definitely think $225 is a good competitive option to the big players in the industry. You know, the Microtechs, the Guardian Tacticals, and the Heretic knives. You know, all three of these, yes, they are a little bit more refined. There's no question about that. But will this one do the same, if not more, than some of these? Yeah. I'm not going to say which one, but this knife right here held an edge better, a good bit better than one of these knives on the table. And that's just a fact. I haven't sharpened this one yet, and I plan on sharpening it here soon, and I will do a long-term update on the knife, on how it's holding up, how it sharpens and stuff like that, if y'all interested in seeing that. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.